What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another SGN video where it's all sim all the time. Today we're talking about Madden and its identity crisis. Now, before we get too far in the video, I want to establish that I'm not bashing the devs in this video. I'm more pointing out a fact that, yes, they are very aware that we want simulation gameplay, we want simulation in franchise, we want realism, but they also have MUT, and I don't think they do a good job of distinguishing features that they implement in both game modes. I really think that they need to have certain features exclusive to MUT and certain features exclusive to franchise mode. They already have a feature in MUT that would be great in franchise mode, but they will not bring it over, and that's team chemistry. However, when you look at the X Factor and Superstar abilities, it's very clear that these are not simulation based. They're very arcade based, and you just look at the fact that they should be all just increasing certain things, a slight increase or a mediocre increase, but a lot of these are a straight up matter of fact, like bazooka. You complete a pass of 35 yards and now you're suddenly superhuman strength to throw it another 20 yards down the field. That's not realistic. Gambler, the defenders cannot intercept your pass. Like, they cannot do it. That's not realistic. That's not how NFL in real life works. Trust, you're immune from fumbling the football. These are all head-to-head comp things, and they're great for that. But for simulation football, these abilities just do not hold up overall for the most part. Now, there are some that are good. First one free, a high rate of fake out. That's realistic. It's not guaranteed. It's just got an improved chance. Increased chance to break the first tackle attempt with his freight train. Like, those are realistic, but there's so many other ones that are just when it's in a matter of fact. You are guaranteed this. That is not realistic. There's no guarantees in football. There's no guarantees in life. Why are they in this game? And they go further than X Factor abilities, as we're going to creep down the list. Now, I will say the defensive side of things is a little bit more balanced, as there's not really anything matter of fact other than momentum shift, which I think needs to go. But everything else just seems to be a little bit more balanced on the defensive side of things. It feels a little bit more realistic. We will talk about superstar abilities a little bit later in the video, but I want to talk about how X Factor abilities need to either be completely reworked for simulation franchise mode or literally kept as a MUT comp thing and removed from franchise. Now, I understand they give us the ability to turn them off, but what if we like that there are some that are realistic, but some that aren't, and we're struggling with that? Same with home field advantage. Home field advantage is a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea for simulation football. Poorly implemented because it's all arcade. There's a couple of them that make sense. Chicago Bears, away's team kick moves faster because of the wind. That makes sense. Buffalo Bills, same thing. The kicking arc is harder to control. But there's other ones that just don't make sense, like Arizona Cardinals, home team gains momentum faster, but why? There's other ones where certain teams fatigue faster or slower, which that should be something for like the really warm weather teams down in Florida or the high elevation like Denver. But otherwise, there's a lot of things here that are just very unrealistic in these home field advantage abilities. They need to literally rework it. And when you go to the basic ones that are just randomly assigned, they just don't really make sense. Opposing team's QB has trouble seeing receivers. User team has improved blocking. Why do they have improved blocking? That should be like a field conditions thing, a cleats thing. Opposing team can receive incorrect hot routes. I do like that. That's an audible thing. But what about the ones where the defense can see your actual route? Like, that's not realistic. That's completely arcade. I think they really revamp this, go through and give us realistic home field advantage. And I don't think there should be basic, home field M factor abilities. I think it just be straight up, you have the home field advantage or you don't, right? And either team has an ability and they don't. None of this extra stuff. When we look at Pat Mahomes here, and again, we already talked about bazooka, but then we look at his just superstar abilities. Dashing Deadeye, perfect pass accuracy. Perfect. Red zone Deadeye, perfect passing accuracy while throwing in the red zone. Why only in the red zone? No look Deadeye, perfect passing accuracy on crossbody throws with 20 yards. Why is it perfect? Why is it not just increased? Again, this is what makes this arcade versus simulation. And you keep telling us we're going towards simulation, and the gameplay changes feel like that. But when you add this arcade bullshit, it really undermines what you're trying to do. And with Devontae Adams, double wins aggressive catches versus single coverage. Why not just improve chances, right? Everything else here is pretty good. Red zone threat, improved catching versus single coverage in the red zone. Why only in the red zone though? You know what I mean? That's just unrealistic. Joe Burrow, run and gun. Perfect passing while on the run. Perfect. Not just improved, perfect passing. Perfect passing accuracy on throws outside the numbers with sideline dead eye. Immune to defensive pressure while in the pocket. Like, this is just not really, this is 100% arcade. And I'm fine with it, but not in a franchise mode. And the fact that you give us some abilities that are done. Like, for example, Von Miller is really well done. It's a chance to pressure the quarterback while engaged with a blocker. Sacks restore your pass rush points. Quicker run sheds. Dominant pass rush moves. There's nothing for a fact with Von Miller. I love that. There's no perfect anything or guaranteed here. We look at George Kittle. Yak him up. Improved chance to break the... I like that. Route apprentice is great. Improve short route elite. They're just improvements on George Kittle. So that's what sucks is like you give us the ability to turn these on or off. But what sucks is you have some really good simulation abilities, but then you also have a bunch of arcade ones. Like we already talked about double me with Travis Kelce or double me with Devontae Adams, but Travis Kelce has it too. But what about leapfrog? Prevents fumbles while hurdling. How can you guarantee someone will never fumble while hurdling? That again, there's no guarantees in football. Crazy things happen every single game. You cannot put an absolute in here. So that's what's really frustrating is like they want sim, but they gave us all this arcade stuff. And if we're going to continue talking about the fact that they have an identity crisis, let's talk about penalties. Because penalties are something that even on simulation mode do not show up. And I think they really need to go ahead and change the last line here where it says modifies base chance per play for offensive holding to occur. And that goes online for all penalties. Frequency at normal setting NFL based on data. That's false. Play a game. Play a full game of Madden. Default all pro. Default alt Madden. Don't touch anything. See how many penalties you get. It will not represent the accurate amount of penalties in NFL games. Now, I also want to talk about presentation. So they have the basis intact for simulation, realistic, especially in franchise, presentation. You see the next gen stats talking about realistic stuff. This is great. This is simulation. This is great. Now, this is a play now game. I want you to realize this is a play now game. I just did Atlanta versus Tennessee, play now, and they showed the next gen stats, which is great. And then I grabbed new rosters just for example. So we got Will Levis coming out here, and it shows his 2022 season stats. He doesn't have any. He's a rookie. But it tries to bring up his season stats and it's play now. But when we go to a franchise, I'm showing you, I just started up a brand new franchise with the New York Jets, and I'm just kind of going through as fast as I can to hop into a game. And again, these are updated rosters, so you will see Aaron Rodgers there. So I'm in a franchise, and on the very first sequence after the kick return, they're going to do the quarterback intro for Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is in franchise. I think I've said it 4 times now. This is in franchise. We'll make it an even number 5. They don't show his stats from last year. They show his freaking player ratings. Why? That's not simulation. If anything, player ratings should be in head-to-head, and season stats should be in franchise. It drives me crazy. Again, and the weekly team goal selection. So much of this is not realistic. The goal is to win. All right? And your goals should be things that help you win. 2 passing touchdowns does not necessarily help you win. Yes, it's nice to have 2 passing touchdowns, but that's 14 points, doesn't get you win. An interception, a turnover can help you win as long as you don't turn it over. They really need to redo these goals. Some of them are good. Forcing 3 turnovers is a good goal. 5 rushing TDs is a horrible goal because guess what you're going to try to do? You're only going to try to rush the ball for a touchdown. You're not going to play realistic. You're going to try to force the matter to get these extra game plan points. Same with passing. You're going to try to get that. Now, the allow 10 points or less, 14 points per less, whatever. I think obviously you always want to allow the least amount of points. So Why would you even be there? Our goal is to allow 30 points or less. That's ridiculous. The goal would always be to not give up any points. Offensively, 400 yards, 350. What? No. 200 yards offensive is a goal? What? 300 yards off? Like, this, come on. This is not realistic. This is not simulation as far as your goals. Your goals should be to do things that help you win. Now, under the head coach, there are a few things that are goals that'll help you win, like maintaining or winning the turnover battle. 15 first downs, which would be winning the time of possession. Winning by 17 points, obviously, that's you're winning, but you're blowing out win. No sacks allowed will typically help you win. But the yardage, having a certain amount of yards or a certain amount of touchdowns, that's arcade. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. We've seen teams put up 49 points and lose. So anyway, this is my video on Madden and its identity crisis. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.